So what we're looking for in a case like this where the PMZ is way up here, we know that BABA's been really strong, okay? It's just digesting, folks. Don't forget to look back, all right? This is really important. When we look back, just like this, what do we see? What do you guys see here on BABA? What do we do? What are some of the steps that we would take in a day like this? And I'll go ahead and show you really quickly. So first off, I want to always measure from this gap. Now we can go into the line in the sand. That's one of your automated levels there. And we come up to the pivot high, which is right here. And what are we looking for? We're looking for the 23 and the 38. Okay. So remember, I have a gap up. If the 38 is holding and the 23 is holding, that's bullish for the gap up. Okay. So that's the first thing that I want to know right here, right now. All right. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to create a line, just put a line just kind of right under that. And you can see I have my automated levels here as well. All right. And we have some quant pivots also from Simpler Trading. I have those on there for targets. All right. Now I'm going to take that off because I know that's a key level. Okay. And then I am going to open up the chart a tab more. And let's just say that let's just say that my bias is bullish. Okay. Now, what I was going to tell you is when I see a PMZ way up here and you weren't aggressive to go short here, what you should be doing is going down and to the left and looking for demand zones, looking for trendy edges. So you guys were right. 3 Dog Trader, you got that right. Okay, so we're right around that level, and notice what was support, and we got a little bounce off of it, is now resistance. So I'm hypothetically saying that I am biased long here on a reclaim of this level, okay, 78.12. All right, now I want to show you just really quick, like how we can trade quicker. And by the way, guys, we took that Amazon. I'm going to be trimming one more time as we get closer to our target. Okay, and you're going to see that pop up in the alerts. So go ahead and pull your stops up. It looks like we're probably about plus 50 right there on that. We're almost to target though. Okay, but I want to show you. All right, we hit our first target right there. Okay, let's see if we can push through. If we can get over the pivot high of 98.26, that's great. Okay. Now from here, you should have your stops on Amazon at entry and just go a few points above that. Okay. All right. So we're going to put those stops and we're just going to move on. Sorry about that to interrupt this. So let's say that I am bullish on BABA. Okay. So on BABA, what I want to do here is I'm going to come over to the option chain. Okay. And the first question is, do we want to trade today, like for this week, or do we want to trade into next week? Next week is a holiday week. I think that you either stick with this week or you buy 2 weeks. That's my own thing. Okay. So very quickly, I'm going to come over here. I'm just going to grab some options from this week. And I've already shown you how to do this. I'm going to move. Okay. I'm going to add this to my focus list. Okay. All right, and let me go ahead and detach that just really quick. There it is right here. So I'm going to take these out. These are from a long time ago. Okay. So here they are. These are the calls. And notice that I have red, yellow, blue, green, whatever. Okay. And let's see if this is one. That's not one. It's John's rotation tool there. Give me 1 second. Okay, there we go. All right, so just really quick, because it's green, that's where I'm going to send it for calls, okay? Boom, I click on it. Notice now what we have is that, and we're going to do this, we're just going to do one to make it easy, okay? So what we have is we have the option chain while we are looking at BABA, okay? Everybody following? This is how you should already have these set up. See, I have these screens every time I open, I have this screen. Okay. So I've shown you so many times. So when you come in here in the morning and we have a setup, you should load your favorite names, load your option, whether it be put or calls. Okay. Make sure the quantity is where you want it to be. So for example, these are going for almost $3. So if I bought five, I'm going to be risking about $1,500. For me personally, I put this on auto send. I don't need to read it. I understand what's going on here. The next thing that I want to do is come into this area and I want to look for options because I've named all of these something different, right? So right here is a 0.5 risk to a 1.5 reward. Let's go ahead and pick that. And let's do this for demonstration purposes. We'll do one. Notice when I go over the numbers on the left-hand side, see this gray area? This is where basically the mid is. So these people are trying to sell at 278 and these people want to buy at 274, right? These are the people selling, these are the people buying, and in between is the middle, okay? That's all that's happening here. Now, what I have up here programmed, and again, I teach you guys how to do this, is I'm saying I will get stopped out if the underlying option price drops 50 cents. Okay? Everybody understand that? So when I take this trade, if I just come in here and buy market, it's going to buy right between the two. Now I'm going to sacrifice this just so that you guys can see. And before I do that, let me go ahead and make a note in here. Okay. Oops. I don't. Okay. And at everyone. And we'll pull this down right here. And you guys will see, like we have these really cool alerts. Nobody else does this. So as soon as I buy here, boom, you're going to see it come over here. Well, you know what? Yep, there it is right there, Baba. I got in at 281. You guys can see that. You can come over here on the time and sells, and you can see that I got in at 281. Now, the cool thing about this is now I have a stop. It's all the way down here. And I know exactly how much I'm going to lose. Now, there is something called slippage, and that can easily happen. Okay? But I'm okay with this risk. I know before I take the trade how much I can lose and how much I can gain. So if I were to get out, I'm going to make $154 on this trade. Okay? So that easy demonstration, again, go back to the videos that I have created for you to learn how to do this. It's really fast. It takes you about 15-20 minutes probably to set this stuff up. And then once you set it up, it's always there. Okay? So anyways, that should help you guys out. I want to demonstrate that. And just for these purposes, in case you're not watching me, I'm going to go ahead in here. And the cool thing is, you know, it shows the stop and it shows where we would need to go. So basically we need to get up to the PMZ in order for that to work. Okay? Let's see, Baba. Stop is 0.5 of the underlining option price. Okay. And let's go ahead and get that out of the way. And then let's go over here and talk about, again, kind of the stuff we've done so far. So our SPY is up, our Google's up, our Amazon's up, that Baba is down about 2%. XLV, we took profits and I rolled out 65 days. So it's been a pretty quiet day. Oh, and I bought back the short side of HD right in time. That baby is going. Okay, so we're going to go ahead And we should, for good measure, you should probably, trim again on Amazon. And you're going to see that pop up right over here. And now what this means for, again, as I'm showing you guys, if I trade equity, it's going to show you the gain from the entry. So it's either going to say up, it's green. I feel like that's pretty straightforward. Although I did tell my developer, I was like, can you put a plus sign in there? So he still hasn't done that, but I think a plus sign would be even better because I think if I lose money, there's a negative sign. Let's see. Here's our trade from this morning on low, and that was a perfect entry as well. So let's keep scrolling up here and see if I can find something where I lost money on an entry. So see, this one says negative 33%. It's red, but what about on equity? I'm just trying to find real quick. And don't get these confused for anybody that's new. Red just means we closed the trade. Okay, that doesn't mean that the trade is lost. So right here, that's actually a 38% gain. Okay, 86% gain tells you we trim. So these are all in color. So red means stop, blue means trim, and green means entry. Okay, green means entry. So like this Oracle, I'm stopped out there, right? Tesla, she's stopped out there. Okay, keep going up. I'm trying to find one. There we go. Yeah, so see here. So, he shows me the negative sign. I'm going to send this to him. I would like to see the plus sign. I'm sure all of you guys know that. That's supposed to be, if it's green, it's a plus, but I would like them to match. But anyways, let's get that out of the way. I'm sorry. And pull up Discord again. Get this out of the way. There we go. Yep. So nice little bounce here. Amazon continues to make highs here, guys. We're actually up over $1. So just keep runners on this. Our next target is 98.77. Let's see if we can get that. Yeah, so if you want to see Amazon's trade, folks, like why I took Amazon, I might have shown that right before we went live, and I apologize. But the reason why I took the trade and why it's working out is because of that PMZ trade that we always talk about. So the PMZ is available at Trendy Trading. If you're a member, you can buy the PMZ by itself with the scanner. Okay? You don't have to buy the entire bundle of indicators. Although the bundle of indicators, I feel like they belong to each other. They're like siblings. You shouldn't separate them. All right. Why? Because the line in the sand and the PMZ actually have a setup. So on your dashboard, if you're a member, not a trial member, if you're a member on your educational dashboard, there are 4 setups that I talk about. And they talk about how you trade off of the PMZ and the line in the sand. Okay, so they give you insight of some clues there. Okay. All right. And what I would do with Amazon from here is, you put your stop at your entry, and you should have trimmed as much as you could, and you're good. You're good to go. All right. So the next thing that I wanted to show you again was Amazon. Let's go over here. And there you go. And if we come over here, so once again, the reason why we took the trade is because it broke over the PMZ. You can see we all came in here, and that worked out well into targets. So we hit all those targets. You actually hit, let me see. Yeah, right in there. So looks like you guys all sold with me. That's that. How dare you? Now you also wouldn't even really have to, put a stop. Um, if you trimmed right, you can actually have a lot deeper stop than being in the money and still make money. But I don't think it's important right now. Okay. Let's go over the setup of your neutral strategy. Notice here that these guys are not, even on a breakdown, they are not breaking down price underneath this neutral. Matter of fact, if your commitment to the candle, so committing to the candle, and this is the thing, right? When we do the neutral strategy, if you're aggressive with it and you go short right away, say at 396.15, and you don't have levels, if you don't have levels, right? What you're doing here, okay, is you can't see these. So, when we're going, if we're going short, out of this zone, then we have these automated levels that kind of help us to understand where price might bounce. This is the bigger level, obviously, and I think if we close under here, then we could potentially see this. Right now, the market's just kind of plopping back and forth and, just pissing people off. That's kind of what's going on there. Okay. Yeah, and I'm almost tempted. Sorry, I'm kind of all over the place, but I'm almost tempted to buy CCL long term on this dip. I really am. But let's see. Let's go to yeah, let's bring up this BABA chart. This was the one we just took that contract on that I showed you guys. And let's put up the ES futures really quick. So what do you guys think about those bracket orders for options? Pretty cool, right? So you can get a template going and, do your thing. The biggest thing you have to worry about with stops is understand. So I like that system for intraday. All right. So the way I have those brackets set is you could do good till canceled, but if you're intraday trading, I don't have it good till canceled. I just have it, it's going to disappear if you leave those options on. So your stop's not going to work if you go home at night, okay? And you leave those options on. Meaning if Baba were to gap down, you're just crap out of luck, okay? So this is more from an intraday standpoint, okay? All right, let's go over to CCL just really quick. ES futures just kind of this is what they're looking like. We keep popping up to the PMZ. I told you all day, be careful on your longs. As long as we are not bidding above there. If for some reason we bid above 39.90, then I think the market takes off and we close up here at 4,003 again, and just bears will just be like, "Are you kidding me?" So just one of those things. All right. All right. So let's look at CCL, and let's come over here to a much bigger picture. All right. So this makes sense to me. It's been going up. It's been going up absolutely for 4 weeks. One, two, three. Looks like about 4 weeks or so. Took a little bit of a break right here, then popped really hard. It came into some targets I gave you guys before. And it makes sense that it's inside. So what do you want to do when we see something like this? Like I want to buy the dip, but I also understand this could be the inside and down formation. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to find that inside candle. Now it's Wednesday. This can change big time, but I don't want to get long unless we get over this level. And I don't want to get long unless we get down to about here. Okay. So it's a if this, then that. So I prefer the breakdown and then take it from here. Okay. I prefer that. However, it may not do that. Okay. So I'll wait. I'm going to wait patiently because even this candle, even though it's deep and inside, it could end up closing closer to the top of last week's candle. And then I wait for next week. And then if we pop over the inside and up, I'm going long. Okay. So that's the plan there on CCL. Okay. And then over here on XLV, like I said, I took the position off earlier this morning and then I rolled into 65 days out. And, same thing with here. I think we're just flagging. This is a longer term position. So, what I would like to see is for us to move up towards this box up here at 137 by 148. And this looks like some old stuff that I had on here. So I apologize. I still have the same zone though. So if anything, if it does pull back, I'd imagine we can hold right in here. So this is kind of like my support. I'm going to put this in here. Just like that. And then we're looking for that right there. Okay, it doesn't have to come all the way down here. All I'm saying is if it dips in here, this is considered my support. So I want to use that trendy edge, and this is resistance right now. Okay. All right, so that's what that looks like. And on the weekly, here's your TTM squeeze down here. I need to highlight this area. All right, and then you asked, I had somebody ask me a question. You guys want, let's see. Man, it's been so long, Nick. What is the, are you just talking about DXY? All right, give me 1 second. Did we already run out of all the other targets that I gave you like 6 months ago? Probably. Let's see, US dollar and the Indian rupee. Yep, let's go ahead and go there. So we're going to go to USD. And then INR right here. And let me just make sure, yep, IDC. All right, so I'm going to go to a quarterly first. All right, so the quarterly is really important here as we look at this because we have our first topping wick, Nick. Okay. All right. Have our first topping wick. Very important. And the threshold here, and it makes sense to me. I mean, from a quarterly perspective, we've been going up 1, 2, 3, 4 quarters. Okay. Long time. And we started that journey from, the inside and up formation, which is probably, something you and I noticed when we were covering this before. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise this box here, okay? And we're going to say demand, just like that. And the reason why I am raising the box to that particular candle is because look at the buying pressure of this candle. This candle does not look like that candle or this candle, right? That's a strong candle. So I want to make sure that my box is underneath it, almost as if that box, in my mind, would act as a springboard for price, and it is a demand zone, right? Notice that right around this inside and up formation, we actually also have the quarterly cloud. That is very important to have. Now, in this formation that I use, notice that I'm not using the wicks to my advantage. When I come up and use the wicks here, this is more of a cautious, if you would, meaning we don't want to miss the buy. So we're going to come up just a tad. And what this does is this actually takes into a lot of confluence. Why is there a lot of confluence here? We have a demand zone. We have trendy edges for the future to tell us this is where a demand zone is. We have the current trendy edge, and we have the monthly cloud. So all of those tell me that this is a great box to buy this. Okay? Okay, so quarter cloud. That's right. That is your quarterly cloud. Now, we need to know where the threshold is of this candle. This is just like when we time the dollar to pull back. I would be doing the same exact thing here. Okay. So what I mean is I want to open this up a tad. I want to take a really good look here because sometimes you can't tell until you do this, right? You really got to open it up. So I'm going to take this level and notice, Nick, that we are, and anybody watching, you can still learn from this, that we are below that threshold. Okay. And that's 81.5001. Okay. But when I do this, I can't really tell. Okay. So that is resistance now until proven otherwise. Okay. That's just the threshold. So basically what I'm saying is as long as price stays under this level, it is an inside candle. And you must wait until the quarter is finished. How long do you have to wait, Nick? Right here. So for anybody using TradingView, okay, anybody using TradingView, this is really cool. They have a countdown. So it's telling me right now, in order for me to wait that long, I must wait one, I can mate too, but wait 1 month and 15 days. Okay. Okay. 1 month, 15 days. That's how long you must wait. But we can still trade off of this. And what I mean is if we continue to push up, then it's bullish. You know, there's continuation there. If we indeed stay under this threshold, I actually think this is more of a short, if you will. Okay. But let's see if there's any closer demand zones or support zones. So remember, this is the same way that we create a blueprint from the start. Now let's go into the monthly. Okay. And we can see that this candle is almost inside. Okay. Notice that price, I would have to speculate. Either this is going to be a really ugly candle, Nick, and we only have so many days left with the holiday, but I think this is going to end up being inside on the monthly. Okay. So if we stay inside here, that's going to help you instead of waiting for a month, right? Instead of waiting for a month and some time, this is actually going to help you get ready for the next move into, I would say, 2 weeks from now, 1 week from now. Because if we go inside here and then we go inside and up, well, we'll find you targets here in a second. Okay. Now, from a weekly perspective, I want to go down, the month, down and to the left. I don't see any inside and ups except for the zone that we've already identified. Therefore, I'm going to use this. Okay. And I'm going to come just right above it. Okay. All right. Understood? So this is support right now. Okay. And we can name these just so that you understand. So we can come over here, we can take the text button, and we can say right here, this is a threshold for the quarterly. Okay. And this right here is the monthly support. You guys following? Okay. Now we're going to go into the weekly, and we have an inside candle. Did we come into any sort of demand? Well, we almost did. Okay. There's more demand right in here. Notice if I were to measure Fibonacci's, okay, from the pivot high or pivot low into pivot high, we came into the 78.6 and we're testing the 50. This is not bullish unless you get above the 38 here. Let's go and do that. Okay. So is this monthly support also in line with the weekly support? Yes, it is. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to bring this up just a tad, right above that wick, okay? And I'm going to say monthly and weekly support. It's kind of cool, right? All right. So that's what we have so far. All right. So the next thing we want to do is go into the daily. Daily is at resistance. It's right at that threshold. So from here, folks, I feel like on this particular chart that you're looking for, we have come up with a plan. Okay. So the plan, if you were to read it out, would be I don't want to be long on the Indian rupee versus the dollar dollar versus the Indian rupee. Okay. Unless price can start to bid above this level and stay above here. Okay. But that would be short term because I have topping wicks here. Okay. I prefer, and this is me, I prefer that price come back to monthly or weekly support and or down here towards demand. Now we know that price, once it goes inside and down, likes to move to inside and ups, and the bigger picture would be something like this. And again, this is speculation because we still have to wait for this to close, but we can actually trade off of anticipation. That's how we do a lot, right? That's how we actually make money a lot of times, is we're anticipating just based off analysis, okay? So this is a potential inside and down, okay? Yeah, if I were going to bet on this, I would have to say as long as price is staying below that future trendy edge up and to the right, that the probabilities are high that we come back to at least 79.85. And if 79.85 doesn't hold, that we'll see 75.75 or 75.78. Okay. The continuation itself, we want to be sure, again, that we always make sure we have all the data in here. So I have nothing to the upside. That means there's no supply up there, guys. No supply. And when he first asked me about this chart, I gave him a chart that worked really, really well, right? And it hit those extension levels that we gave him. But, you can still go with more extension from here. Let's just say that it just continues to rocket. What I would say is use your fib extensions just like we did last time. And what I'm going to do is use the bottom of these demand zones, okay, about right there. And I would come up to the pivot high, and then I'm going to double click. And if for some reason I'm wrong and we start to bid up here above this potential inside and down, then your next targets are going to be 85.95, 87.54, and so forth, okay? If anything, I think it's at a stalling point. It makes sense to be stalling, right? So, what kind of information does this give to you? Like, how does this help you? I'm kind of curious, right? Because you're obviously into it. So, I mean, what does it do? Like, explain it to me. And usually, what I'll do, guys, is come all the way up into the 50, just below it. And those would be my targets right there. Okay, cool. Thank you. All right, so let's go ahead and look at NVIDIA. So we're going to take a look here on NVIDIA, and they have earnings this afternoon. I hope this is fun and exciting. You know, um, my first guess is it's extended, it's pushed into resistance, and maybe it wants to go inside, right? Maybe we get like an inside candle. But this is a quarter. Like we still have like I said, a month and 15 days. Um, it hit the quarterly cloud to the upside. It's kind of stalling. We understand that's supposed to happen. And so it is what it is. All right. But kind of like the same thing I was just doing with that chart, I just want to begin this by finding those areas. Okay. And then I want to look at the quarter and I'm going to measure this candle. And it is bullish as long as it can hold this 23.6. So I want to identify that as well. And that's at 155. Current price is at 160. And really, these are bullish channels, and it still looks really bullish even with this pullback here. Whoops, Control Z. Let's bring those back just really quick. And what we could do is just go like this. There we go. So we don't have to have these lines on here. That's the bullish channel, folks. And as far as targets are concerned, we're going to go to a smaller time frame. Yeah. So I would use the top of this formation in here. Okay, that's some ways away, I'll tell you that. All right, and then let's go over here to the weekly. All right, and then right there's your inside and down. So I'm going to identify that. Let's turn off these, make it a little bit cleaner just for a minute. Here is your inside and down formations. And what's cool about supply and demand is that regardless of earnings and any sort of catalyst, this is where price likes to travel. So a lot of times what will happen, you could get like a report that's awesome. And if you hit this into aftermarket, that kind of stinks because usually then I'm looking for a fade, unfortunately. Um, but in this area, I believe this is where we could see um, we could see price pull back too. And honestly, if Nvidia only pulls back to here, I'd be looking to buy the dip if it pulls back to there. So that'd be red, and I'm going to make this green. Okay. And this is my demand level. Okay. This is supply. And it's had a big run. Like I was telling the folks today, I kind of feel like, you know, my gut tells me it doesn't do anything after earnings. I could be completely wrong, but could just kind of go sideways. So, but these are the levels. So, I mean, if you look at it, if it's 156 by 146 and it's trading at, 160, I'm not looking for a huge down move, you know? I mean, like literally 5 to 15 bucks maybe, you know? So if I were trying to like hedge this, maybe 10 bucks out of the money to the downside. All right. So, but when I look at this, I go to the Analyze tab and I put in NVIDIA. They are forecasting $12. So we're basically in the same ballpark, folks. Now, the only thing that I'll tell you is that the supply zone up here at 174, that's about the same as well. At first I thought it wasn't. So unfortunately, when I am in line with the market or the market makers, I'm not too excited. It's more when I see something that is not lined up. So if this supply zone was way up here around, and I mean it is, the back of it's like 194, it could hit 187. So those are possibilities there. All right, on a big beat or something like that. But and obviously the down move could be really strong as the market has kind of shown us that. What's neat here too is these demand zones. If I come up with a Fibonacci and I were to measure, they probably fall, you know, yeah, very close to the 23 and 38. So to me, that makes sense, you know. This entire rally is not a worry unless the 618 is broken. Okay, so we go to norm and you could identify this level and say, shit's hit the fan if this happens. This is just like, this sucks. So we could make that annotation here. If this breaks, the entire 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks are in jeopardy. Okay. So that's what that chart is going to look like. All right, folks. Well, it's going on noon. I feel like it's really boring in the market. I really do. So I'm going to take a break for a while. I'm going to come back, and if we get some sort of change, then obviously I'll jump on here. I'll have everything going. We do have a party that we're hosting tonight, um, and I'll help the wife. We're getting ready in here. So, anyways, we'll be back. If you guys have questions, if you have other charts you want me to look at, just let me know.